asking for the thorn to be taken from his side. And God said back to him, son, my grace is sufficient for your healing, for your breakthrough, for your deliverance. God's grace can do it. Just reach up and grab it. Just believe and receive it. It can bring you out. Yeah, it can bring you through. Yeah, it can deliver. Yes, it will. Nothing but his. Whatever you need, whatever you want, just believe it. I believe it. And receive. I receive it. Open your heart and lift up your voice. Reach out to him. Hallelujah. Grace, you gave me grace, grace beyond measure, grace with much favor. You gave me grace, unlimited grace, live for your glory, strength for my story, unmerited grace, grace, grace. I thank God for his grace. Come on, Mom. Grace, grace.
I tell you when the sun comes up, you tell me when it rains. I hold the rope, I fight for you. You could do the same. I'll tell you every secret, oh. Just stay on the line. I walk 1,000,000 miles for you. If we talk the whole time, I could bring the bacon home. If you prepare the plate, I'll make you proud, I'm waiting for you. If you come to the race, say I'll fly to the moon for you. That's if you hold me down. I'll build a pretty home for you. That's if you stay around. Whoa, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to really say is, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to really say to you, it's a give and take. It's the ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing, yeah, it's a give and take. It's the ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing, give and take. It's the ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing, yeah, it's a give and take. It's the ain't kind of thing, ain't kind of thing. I think about you all the time. If you stay on my mind, I'll share my everything with you. If what's yours is mine, yeah, I could take you to the water. Yeah, we can go now. I can do what you want me to. Just if you show me how. And I know everything ain't gonna be right. Yeah, we gon' make mistakes. And I'm willing to see the wrongs and the rights. We could bend but don't break. Oh, I keep the tea hot for you. If you could keep my drink cold. And I'll always see the young in you. If you love me till I'm old. Whoa, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to really say is, guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to really say is, it's a give and take. See, and he ain't gonna thing, and he ain't gonna thing, yeah, it's a give and take. See, and he ain't gonna thing, and he ain't gonna thing, yeah, it's a give and take. See, and he ain't gonna thing, and he ain't gonna thing, yeah, it's a give and take. See, and he ain't gonna thing, and he ain't gonna thing, that's what I'm trying to say is, trying to say yes, but I'm trying to really say yes. So give me time. See, and he ain't gonna thing, and he ain't gonna thing.
WDDO, W300EB, Macon, Perry, 107.9 FM and 980 AM. The Glory.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette, Westbrooks, and Mr. Dumas.
And good evening and welcome to another segment of the NAACP Truth Show. I'm Willie Dumas, your host. I hope you're having a great day today. I hope you had a great weekend. A lot of things happening here in Middle Georgia. Here on the weekend, I got an opportunity to attend the Pan-African Festival celebration. I believe it was the 30th year celebration, and had quite a few people to turn out at the Henderson Stadium there on Anthony Road, a new location that they used this year. And I hope you had an opportunity to come out. Some good entertainment. We had the Fort Valley State University Band to come and perform. Also, the Southwest High School Band performed on Saturday. There were some other entertainment that was later into the week. I myself personally didn't get a chance to attend those because this has been a very busy weekend. Of course, our condolences go out to the Dumas family and the loss of Reverend Dumas, which his funeral, he was funeralized on Saturday as well. And we still sending up prayers to his family. Also, just a lot going on these days. If you looked at the news, you know, there was another attempt on the president's life at a dinner that was held, and a lot of controversy behind that, and we're still kind of keeping tune on what really is taking place with that. The perpetrator, of course, is in custody. In most cases like that, you know, either the person loses their life or something to that degree, but that didn't happen. Today, I have the privilege to have one of our members of the NAACP joining us, as well as one of our church members at Union Baptist Church. And she usually helps with getting out the vote for the church, as well as getting out in the community for the NAACP to get voters registered. Ms. Patricia Jones, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you and I, we're big advocates, of course, for the NAACP, as well as getting people registered to vote. And
yes,
there's an election that's taking place. Early voting started today. And we want to tell our voters a little bit about some of the people that are on the ballots for this primary.
Well, you know, we're looking at a big governor's race this time.
Absolutely.
And we're also, but let's not forget about our local voting. That is very important. And we have quite a few people that's on there for local, even for your state parties. Also, let's forget about our amendments that are going to come up. That is local. We want to really kind of focus on those things as well. I know people are probably questioning, you got quite a few people in both areas, Republican and Democrat, that are running for the governor's race. You have some of those that are possibly maybe leading in those two areas of the Republicans and the Democrats. Just a few name droppers. We do have Akeisha Lance Bottoms. We do have Derek Jackson on that Democratic Party voting. And of course, most of you know that, I'm sorry, excuse me, Little Horse, Burst Jones and Rick Jackson. I know a lot of people are probably still seeing those commercials, but you're going to get out and get the ballots. We are going to have availability for you at all churches that we can. Most churches are participating in this, and you are able to take that ballot in with you that is blank for you, for who you are voting for. So make sure that you do, whether it's Republican, Democrat, we have no audience with that. That is on your choice. But make sure that you read those ballots. Go on the governor's page of where it's talking about your voters registration, where you can learn about each and every one of the candidates. It's very good to get some background before you actually make your decision.
And some of the questions a lot of people usually have during the election time is the amendments, and some of the questions. And we're gonna read two of the questions here. I'm looking at a Democratic ballot here. It says, should the state of Georgia raise the sales tax on everyday items like clothing, food, school supplies to pay for an income tax cut that would make millionaires and billionaires richer? And you answer yes or no on that particular question. The next question says, is it ethical for political candidates who have used their public office to enrich themselves and their families, or have had nearly $1 billion of business dealings with the state of Georgia to hold statewide office? And so you get to answer yes or no on both of those. And of course, you have to vote your conscience on these ballots. We just kind of inform you of what to expect, on your ballot.
Can I also intercede on that with the amendments as well? Sometimes when these amendments are written up and it's simplified out for you on the ballot that you receive, but when you get there to vote, it may have more things in it, and you've got to read it in depth and make sure that you see that part, that what he just read out to you. Once you see that, you know which way you are to go, especially if someone has sat down and discussed it with you and what would be your better choice. Don't be fooled about some of the other wording in it. What they will do sometimes, they will add in a little bit more of something else to make you think that this is all, no, I shouldn't do it this way, or maybe I should have done it the other way. Just kind of keep basic with what he's giving you just now and keep on that cord. Don't try to change up just because of what you may be reading.
Right. So, and it's good to get the sample ballot so you feel more comfortable once you go in to vote, to familiarize yourself with how the ballot is set up. And so that's always a good thing to do. Now the elections are coming up, and so you can do your early voting now, and you could go to the Board of Elections, which is located, of course, right off of Eisenhower at the old mall, building. That's where the Board of Elections is located. And so you can go there to vote. You can also go to the Lane Lucas Center right there at Creighton Park. You can go there to vote early as well. And also at Thurn Ushery's Rec Center located there on Windfish Road. And so these will be the places you can go. And after early election, of course, during the election day, you'll have to go to your assigned districts where you vote. And so that's always good information for people to know.
Yes.
And also you can go to your My Voters page to check your status and check where you're supposed to vote. A lot of people relocate to the state, and sometimes they end up having to go, back to where they actually were registered to vote. I know we had some issues with people about a year ago from Atlanta. They were, they had lived in Atlanta, and that's where they were registered. And then they came to Macon and found out they had to go to their respective areas. So, go ahead and check early, and so you don't have the issues and the problems. That's also one of the suggestions we have with people to early vote, because if there are some glitches, you can get those corrected, before the time comes. So it's a good thing to get out there.
And as just to back up to what he's saying as well, just make sure that the most important thing is to go to that My Voter page and make sure to see if you're registered, wherever you're registered in the state of Georgia, even finding out outside of that. I also encourage those persons that some of you that may have felons and you were registered at one time, but you need to go back in and re-register because some of you are able to vote, and it's a spot on there as well for you to read about and to see what you need to upgrade yourself to get ready to do that. Registering to vote is very important. You have children that are now 17 years old. If their birthdays come between the time of the voting in November, and if it falls even on the day of November, they are allowed to go and register to vote now at this point. So it's a lot of other little glitches that a lot of people don't know about, and well, that's basically what I feel that Deacon Dumas is doing here with you all, the president of the NAACP. He's trying to make you understand. It's just so many other opportunities out here for us to get out
Absolutely.
and vote, and to encourage our young people. And you have a lot of young people that are coming out in large classes this year, all surrounding areas of Middle Georgia. And those persons, they feel as though they can't go registered yet. Yes, they can. So please really do what he said as a for if you have to do early voting. And just one more piece, I want to remind you all too, when you do go out to register to vote, or if you're in the vicinity of one of the voting areas that he just said, ask them to let you look at how the machine works.
Right.
A lot of people do not know how to manipulate the machine as far as the voting machine. And I saw that a lot when I did voting for the presidential election.
And it can be a scary thing, for a person. A lot of people feel kind of intimidated about voting, initially, when you haven't voted before, you're not sure about it. Sometimes people are not as illiterate as they feel they should be as it relates to, different things that they have to read. And so it's good to go ahead and familiarize yourself with the machine as well as, with the information, because it makes it a more welcoming experience.
Yes.
Particularly when it gets closer to the midterm elections. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of, as you would say, participation of watching and making sure that, nobody's doing this and nobody's doing that. Nobody's campaigning within certain parameter of the elections. These kind of things go in effect. You start seeing that. And it can be sort of intimidating for people.
Okay.
I know we've worked with elections for a number of years, and each year, you see something that's kind of surprising. As you know, in the state of Georgia, it was voted upon where, you couldn't give people water, when they're in these long lines that sometimes occur. You can't give food because it used to be, they'd have vendors there and, some people would sponsor just free food. Because the lines were long.
Has to be limited with what you're saying to the person that's coming in to vote.
Right.
You just got to be very direct and guiding that person. Oh, the next station is open. This is where you go. It can't be a lot of conversation. It has changed so much. And I don't want to make anyone afraid to go vote. This is just things we want you to know about.
Exactly.
So you can walk in confidence and you know what you're there to do. And no one has to tell you anything. You're going up to that machine to vote.
And also you have to remember, you can't wear any advertisement, as far as somebody's election. You can't wear political T-shirts or hats. And I've noticed over the years, there have been several people that have to be pulled out of line because they wearing, they may have Make America Great hats or, Obama hats or, whatever. So be conscious of that. Can't wear anything political when you're going to vote. And so just makes for a smooth transition in the voting process. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of these local things. You got the Macon Water Authority District 4 in that particular category. On the Republican Party, you got Michael McKeever, you got Frank K. Patterson Jr., you got Deron Rogers in that on the Republican side. And then we can look here on the Democratic side. Let's see here. I know one of them would be
Elaine Lucas.
Yeah, you got Elaine Lucas there.
Marshall Talley should be on there.
Marshall Talley, as well as Mr. Brown. Yes. See, I'm looking here on this particular one, and I don't quite see it.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Yes, you have Desmond D. Brown, Elaine Lucas, Carrie Catchard. Oh, that's Board of Education. Special election for Macon Water Authority is Ronnie Lemon, Sharif Robbins Brinson, and Renato Scott.
Scott.
That was the one Marshall Talley is on with. You have quite a few of the Macon Water Authority in different districts. Those persons encouraging you, though, if you are not registered in your District 4 and District 1 and your Post 7s, your District 2s, you need to get out and register. If those names are familiar to you and you want to be a part of them being in the winning season,
absolutely,
make sure you get out there and vote for them and get registered if you're not.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we got judges for Superior Court. We got state court judges. There's just magistrate. There's a lot of judges here that they have an opportunity to vote for. Macon Judicial Circuit Superior Court Judge, Court of Appeals, Court of Appeals for Georgia, just a number of.
It's quite a few on there.
Oh yeah,
on the Democratic as well as on the Republican side as well. It's quite a few that's up for that. It's a lot of questionnaires also from the state Republican Party questions that are going to be yes or no answers that you might want to make yourself familiar with. Whether you vote Republican or Democrat, make yourself familiar with things that are questions that will be enacted into law. You need to know those things. So kind of make yourself familiar with those as well as knowing those persons that are going to be voting.
I see we've got some comments here. Somebody said, vote for someone who knows what questions to ask. And that's from Carlos McLeod. He also says, great job putting this 30 years of experience as an educator at work for you as a principal, teacher, and paraprofessional. Vote to put experience on the board. Okay. Thanks for that comment. The state Republican Party question, one of the questions says, should Georgia enact the strongest election integrity measures possible, which may include hand-marked paper ballots, fines for counties that refuse to maintain current voter rolls, and restrictions on no excuse absentee voting to restore trust in elections? And then that second question they've got, it says, should Georgia prohibit judges from releasing criminal defendants accused of murder and other felonies without posting secure bail? It's quite interesting how these questions vary depending on the party. That's quite interesting.
Very interesting. And also understand that sometimes too, with two different parties, we have a lot of still redistricting going on.
Right.
Some of these questions, sometimes that's where I say, make sure you read into them well. It may involve that they're trying to widen the districting part, or they may be trying to consolidate it more. So you got, it's a lot to look into. And people think that voting is really not, it's just about voting for a person to go into office. It's not. It carries a lot of weight of how that House representative, your Senate is going to look at things. And that's why your vote counts. Whether you think it or not, it counts.
Absolutely. And we will continue to be out there in various places trying to get people registered. You learn a lot when you're about people in general, when you're out registering people to vote. Some of the information you get that kind of angers you at times, particularly when we do the work that we do through the NAACP to make sure that people exercise that right to vote. And sometimes, people will have a very an awkward opinion about registering to vote and voting, period. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
we're hoping that educating people on different things can change that, that outlook, that sometimes, that negative outlook that people have about voting.
I'm glad I'm a part of with the NAACP now, as well as been involved in voting. I relocated here. I'm originally a Virginian, and I relocated here in '82. Was active at home in Petersburg, Virginia, with voting, and had not per se joined, but I did a lot with the NAACP by being on Virginia State's campus. Um, One of the things that, like what he's saying now, I had my militant era of
Hey,
myself.
look, we pushing,
And I was one of those no yes people at some point, and I always was coming at the community at different organizations. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? But I press to you as a public of people that are in this and have the right to go and vote now. Understand what these different organizations, such as the NAACP, coming on and talking to you and trying to give you good information to get you prepared and to understand the government better. You'll be surprised the education that you can get from knowing, being a part of communities and going, when you hear that the different organizations are representing something with as far as helping you to understand the voting process, even learning about those persons that are voting.
right.
Try to get out and go. Try to encourage your family members to go, other people within your community to go, because you're going to be surprised how much it's going to maybe intrigue you to want to vote more or be more involved too.
Absolutely. And there's several forums, that are held all through the voting seasons where people can get to know the candidates better. About a week ago, I was able to attend a forum right here across the street. And they had various candidates that were there and given their platform to, I think the Democratic women actually sponsored this particular forum. But you got a good opportunity to see what these candidates are standing for. Most of them were local candidates, even though we had some, running for state offices. We had people that were there that were running for the Water Authority. We had people there that were running for board of education. And so you got a good feel of what they were all about and what their platform was all about. And so people who attended, and this was a well-attended forum, I'm sure they got a better understanding of those candidates. And so by attending these, kind of watch your social media and other publications to see where these forums are being held, so that you can get an idea of, how these, what these candidates really stand for. Here just a few weeks ago, this past weekend, there was supposed to have been a gubernatorial debate, which had to be canceled because of the lack of participation. And so that was canceled. But there are other forums that, are being held all over Middle Georgia. And so kind of look and watch for those, and so that you can, feel better about these candidates. You were getting ready to say something, Ms. Jones?
Yeah, I was going to, as far as President Dumas, of what he was saying as far as that forum and the persons that were there, especially related to the school board. A lot of people think, because I don't have, I have grandchildren, but they're not in this area of Bibb County, but they are in the surrounding county. Persons feel as though they no longer have to be involved in that. But yes, you do, because you still pay taxes.
Absolutely.
And your voice counts with that. A lot of things are being different, being done different now, as far as schools closing. That voting that you do for that board member that may be trying to get out here and get elected, you need to get out and vote for them, especially if you know their background and you know a lot of, that's kind of a local, that we're coming from the local standpoint. And I know President Dumas is going to get to this, but local means heavyweight. It doesn't mean lightweight.
Absolutely.
Voting in federal is lightweight. Heavyweight is voting in local. school boards, your representatives, your like we said earlier, the water authority. But the school board is really getting ready to go through changes. And I don't know any of you watch the news. It has been surrounding counties. Everyone is being hit in some form or way of how they're redistricting, fundings, all those things. If you don't vote, that means you did vote and you caused for those things to go downward instead of spiraling up.
Silence gives consent.
Yeah, silence gives consent.
And so we can't sit silent on things that affect us, every day. That's, matter of fact, it's one of the mantras our state conference president uses all the time, President Westbrooks, about being silent about things. We got to speak up and, make our voices heard. One of the other mantras the NAACP talks about all the time is that the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you got to say something. You got to make your voice heard.
Yes.
And one of the ways we make our voice heard is through the ballot.
Yes.
By voting.
Very much so.
By the ballot. And so this is a prime opportunity. If people have certain concerns about their neighborhoods, about their schools, about their quality of water and those kinds of things that affect them, well, you got to vote. You got to get out there and make those concerns known by choosing the right person to represent you in these different areas. Because if you're here for the long run, if you're going to stay in Macon for quite some time, these things will affect you in some type of way.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know, how do you know if you don't know, if you don't ask?
Right.
So ask questions. They are not stupid questions. It's a lot of times I ask things and somebody else may say, shut up, I already should have known that. No, not necessarily. And that's the way you would make yourself informed and gain more knowledge and make you more comfortable in, just as he said, get out and vote, to go and vote.
Right. It gives you clarity. And so, once again, I'm going to tell you it's early voting time. And so you can get out and go to the Board of Elections, or you can go to the Lane Lucas Center at Carol Clayton Park, or you can go to Thayer Nursery Park there on Wimbish Road. And so take the time, vote early. You still got time to get out there and make your voice heard. And so here at the NAACP, we will continue to push forward. Matter of fact, we'll be out pretty soon canvassing to get out the vote. Just, doing some door knockers and those kinds of things to get people out. And so any final words, Ms. Jones, you want to say?
Just want to encourage those that need absentee ballots. It's time you can get those done. We have those at different churches through the NAACP, but also you can go out on the web page as far as voter registration, and then the two different places that he told you that you can go and receive those absentee ballots. Make sure you turn on the back, and if you're 65 and older, or you're unable to go, so you will make sure that they will constantly keep sending it to you. But do get those absentee ballots. If you know you're unable to get out and vote, get that absentee ballot. And it's fine for you to send it in now, and you will be able to vote in this primary as well. Thank you. Thank you for having me as well.
Yes, you're very welcome. I see Phyllis Theodore says vote early today. Vote early today. And that's a good note to go out on. And we thank you, Ms. Jones, for coming in. To reiterate the importance of getting registered to vote and also getting out to vote. And so until next time, I'm Willie Dumas for the NAACP Truth Show. We'll see you on next week. Have a great evening.
You have been listening to the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwenette Westbrook and Mr. Dumas. Come join us next Monday at 4 o'clock p.m. on 980 WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.